Oh, there you go. Kyiv targeted in a major Russian drone attack. Well, what do you know? Is it talking about the one today or tonight or the one in the last night? Russia launched new drone strikes on Kyiv just as President Donald Trump criticized past U.S. military aid to Ukraine. Follow DW for more. I guess, yeah, this is the newest. This is from tonight, okay? Interesting. Yeah, I guess I'm also gonna be talking about tonight's attack, the one that's happening right now. Whoa. This is what I call breaking news. I'm being droned as we speak. Droning over and over again. How cool is this? Isn't that cool? Now I'm really giving you content. So, Russia attacked the capital of Ukraine with dozens of combat drones on Friday, according to authorities in Kyiv. Well, if the authorities say so, then now I know that actually we're under attack, okay? And that it's not fake news. Now I know that I'm really being attacked. Now I know. Lucy is now leaving the unbombed category. I have left it some time ago. Listen, I've been to Ukraine before, okay? I've left the unbombed category some time ago, I think. Maybe. I don't know. It doesn't count if you're still alive. I don't think so. They seem to have struck mostly residential buildings. Several people were reported injured. I'm in a residential building, so I guess I'm prime target. The attack came after U.S. announcement this week that a batch of arms shipments to Ukraine would be paused. Oh yeah, the U.S. has paused shipment because apparently the Pentagon has claimed that the U.S. is running out of weapons in its stocks. Yeah, that's right. The Pentagon representative has claimed that the U.S. is running dangerously low on shells, anti-air, and a few other things. And also, the administration has said that the shipments of weapons that are already waiting in Poland to be sent to Ukraine should be either diverted to Israel, because of course Israel needs more weapons against the children in Gaza, or should be just taken back to Washington. So there you go. And it is a beautiful, beautiful combo, combined with the fact that Trump has not approved any new aid ever since he has taken office in January. So it's beautiful. The fact that we have frozen aid and Russia is attacking Ukraine more and more than ever. Are we going to get military academy stream, Lucy, like learning about Shahid drones or CABs, controlled aerial bombs? Yeah, of course. Of course we're going to get military academy. Why would we not? I'm a military expert after all. I'll tell you all about the Shahids and the CABs. I'm the best when it comes to these things. Okay, I have conducted several professional lectures on the topic of CABs, and I feel like I'm the utmost authority on the subject. There's nobody as good on this as me. There's nobody as good as I am. Okay? If anybody tells you that they are as good as me, they are lying to you and they should be, I don't know, fired. So the Trump administration just said 20 billion more to Israel. Link it in the site, okay? I want to see it. I want to see it. Now I know this is pod racing. Oh yeah. Racing against the drones. This is drone racing. Forget pod racing. This is drone racing. You were just, well, it sounded realistic enough for me to, I thought it was real for a second. Okay? It sounded real enough for me. All things considered, okay? Every day I keep hearing stupider and stupider things, and now, like when I hear something, my instinct is no longer to say, oh, it's BS. No, now my instinct is to say, link it please, because it actually sounds like it could be super true, because, I don't know, there's a race to the bottom on horribleness. There's a real race to the bottom, okay? Things could not have gotten worse. Things could have not have gotten worse. Racing. That's the point of the joke. It sounds surreal while being batshit insane. I mean, define batshit insane, because we're it feels like we've already passed that threshold. And no, I'm not gonna say threshold. I'm gonna say threshold. We have way past this threshold of a mess. Hello, Filipa. Let's see situation. Google. Zelensky and Trump agree on joint defense efforts in fruitful. Oh my gosh. In fruitful phone call. Oh my gosh. All Trump's phone calls are Oh no, never mind. No, actually, surprisingly enough, the latest Trump-Putin call was not fruitful. There's map, Ukraine. Alert map in there we go. Oh, never mind. The danger has passed in Kyiv. How beautiful. Finally, we can rest. We can rest now. The danger has passed in Kyiv. Most recent alert 9 minutes ago. So this was the attack from tonight, which it seems that we are safe now. President Donald Trump said his predecessor Joe Biden emptied out our whole country, giving them weapons. Wait, what? Russia attacked. They seem to have stuck most residential buildings. The attack came after President Donald Trump said his predecessor Joe Biden emptied out our whole country, giving them weapons, and we have to make sure that we have enough for ourselves. It's already been confirmed that the US has in fact enough for itself. In fact, I have proof. I have credentials. Okay, I have receipts. I have receipts saying that what I'm saying is absolutely true. So don't trust me. Trust my evidence. US froze aid even though stockpiles enough. Okay. Pentagon halting some promised munitions for Ukraine. In Poland, by the way. We haven't. Trump denies pausing weapons to Ukraine. Of course this happens. Trump denies it. We haven't. US President Donald Trump brushed off a reporter's question on July 3rd about pausing weapons deliveries to Ukraine, claiming Washington is giving weapons to Kyiv. The Pentagon previously confirmed that the US has already halted some military aid shipments to Ukraine in order to conduct what it calls capability review of its own stockpiles. Why did you pause weapon shipments to Ukraine? A reporter asked Trump as the president prepared to board Air Force One. We haven't, Trump replied. We're giving weapons. Trump then offered contradictory answers, saying the US is trying to help Ukraine while also claiming that former US President Joe Biden depleted country's weapon stocks with military aid to Kyiv. I have to see that. Of course, it's all Biden's fault. Biden has depleted the entirety of the stockpile. Trump. Biden depleted stockpile. God. We completely rebuilt our stockpile. Okay, this is from administration emptied our whole country giving Ukraine weapons. Oh my god. Donald Trump announces that the alleged auto-pen used by Biden is under investigation. Beautiful. Big Beautiful Bill. This is almost as beautiful as the Big Beautiful Bill. Since you got toddler as POTUS, I just want to point out that toddlers are very bad at strategy games. That is true. That is kind of, sort of, sometimes usually true. But don't worry.
First public comments after the US announced that it is pausing the shipment of some Joe Biden for not stopped giving.
Yeah, I want to listen from Trump's mouth, okay?
Much less tariff.
DeSantis was smart.
You can tell me, by the way.
You're welcome. Hey, real quickly, you mentioned Alejandro Mayorkas.
No, I wanna see the empty.
Its own use.
Is this can I see it somewhere?
We haven't. We're giving weapons, but we've given so many weapons. But we are giving weapons, and we're working with them and trying to help them. But we haven't. You know, Biden emptied out our whole country giving them weapons. And we have to make sure that we have enough for ourselves.
Oh my god, of course. Where is the X version? X Trump Biden emptied stockpile. Oh my gosh. Okay, I have to type Twitter. Let's type it. Whatever. I cannot believe what's happening. We heard it here. So yes, Biden has emptied the entirety of the stockpile. All of it is empty. Okay, Post is here. Top chat? No. Toddlers. Don't underestimate toddlers. They can be quite deadly. So holding a yard sale is emptying my house? Yes. And somebody has to fill it in with stuff later. So that's been a thing. That has been certainly a thing. And now, let's go back to the thing that happened. Actually, biggest attack on Kyiv since start of war. You know where I was when this was happening? Do you know where I was as this thing was happening? ABC News.
President Trump is expected to speak with Ukraine's president. He's dead and 20.
Spoilers, it did not go well. It went horribly. In fact, it went so bad that Trump, with like very sad expression, said that no progress has been made with Vladimir Putin. No progress at all. Could you have expected this to happen? True. Best president. I've been next to a McDonald's as this was
23
happening.
people are injured after hundreds of drones swarmed Kyiv overnight.
Look at this.
The attack came shortly after President Trump spoke with Vladimir Putin.
Look at
ABC's
this.
Patrick Reevell is following that story for us from London. Patrick, what's the latest?
Yeah, Trump spoke to Putin, and as a result, Kyiv has been hit with hundreds of drones.
Dan, yeah, this was a massive attack. Russia launched
Most massive since the start of the war.
well over 500 drones and missiles into Ukraine. All night, hundreds of drones were swarming Kyiv. People there are describing it as one of the most intense nights in the capital since the start of the full-scale invasion. This morning, the center of Kyiv was even still veiled in thick smoke from those strikes. At least one person was killed and 23 injured. And this came less than a week after another record attack. These massive bombardments are now starting to happen almost weekly.
So I guess every week Russia breaks a new record when it comes to attacking Kyiv. Okay, I've been here last week for the record attack last week, and I've been here yesterday for the new record attack. How many records am I going to be here to witness? How many records will we break together? What is even happening? And Jesus Christ, I'm going to show you in a moment. But
And as you noted, it also followed President Trump's call with Vladimir Putin.
people spent all night in the subway, by the way. People just hid in the subway and were spending the entirety of the night hiding from drones. Because the subway is very deep and the subway is actually the perfect shelter.
Last night, where Putin again rejected a ceasefire. Ukrainian officials are saying that is no coincidence, that this attack is meant to reinforce a sense of hopelessness and impunity. Now, President Trump, after the call, said he was, quote, very disappointed with Putin, that he...
Yeah, very disappointed indeed. I actually have a link here, I believe, where he says that. Come on, let's watch the link. Let's watch the link of Trump being very, very disappointed with Russia. But remember the meme, okay? Remember the meme.
For Russia and Ukraine, are you speaking to Zelensky tomorrow, and what are you hoping
I'm
the next...
speaking to President Zelensky tomorrow, early in the morning, and I'm very disappointed with the conversation I had today with President Putin, because I don't think he's there. I don't think he's there, and I'm very disappointed. Well, it's not, I'm just saying, I don't think he's looking to stop, and that's too bad. This is Biden. This isn't me. This is Biden's war. It wouldn't have happened if I were president.
There you go. This is Biden's war. If I were president, it never would have happened.
It wouldn't have happened. So, I in one way, I hate to get too involved because it's Biden's war.
There you go. It's like the meme. Trump calls Putin. They have a call. Russia launches massive attack on Ukraine. Okay, and then hold on. What's the exact order of this meme? Because this meme has like specificity to it. There you go. Where is it? Calling Putin no progress in the conversation with Putin. Then Russia does a mass attack on Ukraine, and then Trump says this is Biden's war. Rinse and repeat. Then he calls Putin again, and the cycle repeats. I think that this is, in fact, indeed, very, very true. Okay? Thank God Kyiv has a subway. Imagine it was like America and they had none. I mean, the US has subways, doesn't it? I'm pretty sure the United States has subways, which Tucker Carlson has blasted for being full of drug addicts and stuff like that, compared to the Moscow subway. Did you forget? Have you forgotten? Have you forgotten about the drug addict-filled subway? How could you have forgotten? I cannot believe you. So yes, and we have gotten through the biggest attack on Kyiv since the start of the war. Trump said no progress with Putin. Kremlin responds. Trump says no progress made after a phone call with Putin. No progress made.
US President Donald Trump has failed to convince him.
With them today at all. I didn't make any progress with them today at all. With them today at all.
The pair.
I didn't make any progress with him at all. I didn't make any progress with him.
I didn't make any progress with them today at all. Any progress. I didn't make any progress with them today at all.
So that is basically, that is the TLDR. That is basically all that we need to know about the conversation between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. He has made no progress with him at all. And I think we all felt the progress that Trump has made with Putin last night, literally, and heard it. So that's great. Thank you. Thank you, Donald Trump, for making America and the world great again. Kremlin responds to Trump's comments about his disappointment with Putin. And this is Peskov, our favorite Russia representative, Peskov. Russian leader Vladimir Putin's press secretary, Dmitry Peskov, has said that the Kremlin is paying close attention to statements made by US President Donald Trump, who previously expressed his disappointment with the results of his conversation with Vladimir Putin. Of course, we are paying very close attention to all of President Trump's statements. During the conversation, President Putin reiterated that we are interested in achieving our goals. Yes. So basically, Putin told Trump, we are going to continue to do whatever we want. We have our goals. We're going to push for them. We're not making any concessions. Peace, forget it. Screw yourself. No progress made. So goals during the special operation, and preferably doing so through political and diplomatic means, preferably. Or we can just bomb the civilian population. That works too. Peskov said that as long as it is impossible to achieve these goals by diplomatic means, Russia will continue its so-called special operation, i.e. full-scale war against Ukraine. So that's interesting, I guess. That's cool. That's very cool. It's Biden's war, no progress made. But listen, silver lining, if Trump were president, none of this would have ever happened, okay? That must feel so nice for people to know, the victims of the war, that if Trump were president, none of this would have ever happened. So they were trying to get Lucy. No, they were not trying to get. They were not. So that's it. That's the update. Any questions? I'm not sure if I have anything else to add, to be honest, on the topic of that big attack. A school was hit, a medical center, I'm pretty sure, was hit. Everything was hit, the drones. I've seen anti-air shooting from my window, red lights going to the sky. I heard explosions. I felt explosions. I thought I'd get McDonald's, but unfortunately when the air sirens go off, McDonald's closes its doors and kicks everybody out. So no McDonald's for me when Russia decides to attack. How unfortunate. Russia has conspired to deprive me of McDonald's. That's okay. If there's a takeaway from this entire situation, it's that Russia has conspired to deprive me of McDonald's. And that is the takeaway that I would like you to all to get out of this whole situation. What a big, beautiful I've given you a big, beautiful recap of events. Just much like that big, beautiful bill. Putin is a bad person? I guess so. I guess that is true. Putin is not the swellest guy. This is just another example of the fact that Zelensky has bended backwards to please Trump, to please the United States. The mineral deal has been signed. I have no clue why at this point. And it changed nothing. It's changed nothing on Trump's administration's stance on Ukraine. In fact, it's just getting worse. It's getting increasingly worse considering that aid has been frozen because of the dwindling US stockpiles, because apparently Biden has emptied the US stockpiles, even though apparently, according to reports, this is absolutely not true. That's such an expensive attempt to deprive Lucy from her McDonald's. $6 million attempt. I know, right? I mean, listen, my McDonald's is a sacred thing, okay? My McDonald's is a sacred thing. It is my sacred right to have my McDonald's, okay? To have my McDonald's and eat it too. I'm very disappointed with the conversation. But listen, I don't think that's not everything. I'm not done, okay? I'm not done with this topic. It's Lucy's God-given right to get her nuggies. How did you even know that I ordered nuggets? I feel like you're following me or something. I feel like I'm being, I don't know. To be fair, that's where the best McDonald's is made. You know what? Maybe if people would donate to me more, I would not have to eat mid food, okay? I would eat beautiful, big, beautiful meals, okay? But as it stands, I eat McDonald's sometimes when I can afford it, okay? This is what happens, okay? I would have been eating big, beautiful meals, but instead I'm eating McDonald's because the chat cannot log in and get a grip and, like, subscribe, comment in chat, and most of all, donate. Okay, listen. Report says US stockpiles enough to give Ukraine. I could have sworn there was something like that. There you go. Haze halted weapons for Ukraine despite military analysis that the aid wouldn't jeopardize US readiness. There you go. Oh, whoops. Whoopsie daisy. It looks like Biden has not emptied those stockpiles after all. I guess it did feel a little bit weird that the United States, that has the biggest budget in the universe when it comes to weapons, would suddenly have dwindling stocks, okay? Dwindling stockpiles. My goodness. I have to turn on the sound.
Pause weapon shipments to Ukraine. Multiple officials with knowledge of that decision tell NBC News that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth ordered a pause in sending missiles and ammunition over concerns about the U.S. military's stockpiles. Officials say the stockpiles of munitions had been depleted from the U.S. support for Ukraine, as well as military operations in the Middle East. A White House spokesperson said in a statement, this decision was made to put America's interests first, following a DOD review of our nation's military support and assistance to other countries across the globe.
Department of Defense, by the way, for anyone that does not know somehow what DOD is.
The strength of the United States Armed Forces remains unquestioned. Just ask Iran. That's from the White House.
Jesus Christ.
NBC News senior national security correspondent Courtney Kyiv joins me now. And Courtney, when you see a pause like this, what kinds of munitions are involved and what's at stake?
Anti-air drones, I think, and also precision munition shells.
So it's not uncommon for the U.S. military to look at their stockpiles and then look at the potential threats around the world and say, where are we? Are we getting too low in certain munitions that the United States may need for other future potential threats?
Nope.
Namely, right now, is there any concern that the U.S. could need things like offensive munitions or defensive things if, in fact, the U.S. were to be in some sort of a conflict with China? That's what's happened here is this review.
Yeah, because the U.S. is just racing to a conflict with China.
But what's notable is exactly what you asked about, Kelly, the types of munitions here. We are told that they include things like Patriot interceptors. Now, our viewers may think, they've been hearing a lot about Patriots. That's because the U.S. has been using them to defend against attacks by Iran, not only at Al Udeid Air Base recently, but also helping to defend Israel against attacks from Iran.
Because, of course, the U.S. nor any Western country will never help defend Ukrainian skies, but Israel is a completely other topic, isn't it?
run. It is a critical munition. And Kelly, there are not a lot of them made every single year. The U.S. has been using a lot of them over the last several years, specifically since October 7th. That's one of these. But at the same time, it is critical that Ukraine have air defenses like Patriot interceptors right now. Just this week, we saw Russia launch off the most aerial attack, the biggest aerial attack in the entire war that's existed there for over 3
I've been here for it. I've been waiting for my McDonald's, which has been cancelled.
years.
Thank you, Vladimir Putin, for canceling my McDonald's. Thank you.
Now, Ukraine is desperate for these sorts of things, but the United States is also looking at their stockpile. But the reality is, it's not just the defensive. This also includes things like air-to-air AIM missiles, AIM missiles. It also includes things like 155 rounds for Gimlers. Those are multiple launch rocket systems. So the U.S. at this point is pausing all of these while they look to see if there's any chance that U.S. stockpiles simply get too low while they're trying to send more things to Ukraine.
And apparently that's not true, according to analysis.
When we say pause, do we have a sense? Is that weeks? Is it months? Any way to estimate?
So we don't know at this point, other than officials continuing to say temporary and pause. The reality, though, Kelly, officials are also telling us that some of these systems, namely things like the 155 rounds, those could get released to Ukraine faster than some of the other ones, like the Patriot interceptors, that are a little bit more in higher demand right now, and that, frankly, the stockpiles just are a little bit more in jeopardy.
And the U.S. also provides munitions to other
countries. Those officials continuing to say temporary and pause. The reality, though, Kelly, officials are also telling us that some of these systems, namely things like the 155 rounds, those could get released to Ukraine faster than some of the other ones, like the Patriot interceptors, that are a little bit more in higher demand right now, and that, frankly, the stockpiles just are.
Israel needs weapons. Israel needs those things far more than Ukraine, obviously.
More in jeopardy.
And the U.S. also provides munitions to other countries, too, and I imagine that could be part of the calculation.
Yeah,
there are certain kids that are daddy's favorite, and in this case, Israel beats Ukraine.
The question, though, is, are we talking about what the U.S. sells to other countries? So the U.S. will frequently hear about things like foreign military sales, selling weapons, systems, equipment to other countries, or are we just talking about aid? Really, the U.S. only provides aid like this to Ukraine and to Taiwan.
And we'll button it up right there.
Yep. There you go. Also, thank you very much for the $25, Dr. Johns. Here you get some real food, Lucy. I'll use it to go to Kyiv. Thank you. But yes, what real food can I get? What real food do you recommend? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You're helping me tremendously to stay afloat as a content creator, as the biggest Polish trans streamer, which I would like to remind you that I am. I am exactly that. I'm the big, beautiful streamer, okay? So there you go. It seems like tonight nothing has happened and I'm safe, okay? I am not gonna be kicking the bucket tonight. Yay! Oh, also let's see the clip that Philippopoulos has made. I will not be kicking the bucket tonight just yet. Everything was hit. The drones. What's the clip? I've seen anti-air shooting from my window. Red lights going to the sky. I heard explosions. I felt explosions. I thought I'd get McDonald's, but unfortunately when the air sirens go off, McDonald's closes its doors and kicks everybody out. So no McDonald's for me when Russia decides to attack. I mean, it's true. It's true. Russia has conspired to deprive me of McDonald's. I mean, you cannot complain, okay? It's true. It's true, I have been deprived of McDonald's. But apparently, Dr. Johns does not even approve of my... Wait, what do you want to clip? This is a bucket. Dear God, there's more. Wait, what? More of what? What? What are you talking about? What bucket? I'm going to show you something, okay? Still hiding in subway during attack. Kyiv massive attack. Maybe Twitter. With Kyiv people in subway. Drones. Kyiv in turmoil. There you go. This is what happens. People hide in the shelters. Thanks, Donald. Thanks, Donald. You have done us a solid. Thank you. This is beautiful, just as beautiful as the big, beautiful bill. Thank you. I had to do the reference because nobody else would. Oh, that is sad. That is indeed sad that nobody else would do it. Oh, wow. Well, I guess I can say at least I feel lucky that it's not here. But yeah, this is how the Ruski Mir visits Ukraine. This is what happens, okay? Kyiv residents are planning to spend the night in the metro for safety. When the subway becomes your temporary home. What have we here? What have we here? Big, big, beautiful bill. Oh, that didn't work. What? What are you doing? I get the reference. So, any questions, any thoughts and prayers? Well, you don't have to think or pray tonight anymore because the danger has passed. So, thinking is over. Oh, wow. Well, everywhere else, Kyiv seems safe for now, but everywhere else isn't. The Chernihiv region, wait, we have a map, okay? I think somewhere I had an opened map. Why am I checking this on the phone when we have a map somewhere around here? Didn't we have a map? Air raid alert map, there you go. You can just check it out. So Kyiv is okay. Rivne is not. Zhytomyr, Khmelnytsky, Vinnytsia, Charsky, Poltava, Sumy, Chernihiv, Luhansk, the famous Luhansk Independent Republic, which according to some should be wiped off the face of the earth, which apparently Russia agreed with this sentiment because it in fact single-handedly did wipe it out of the face of the earth. Yeah, there is. Oh gee, my goodness. Things are not good on the battlefield, but you know what? It's alright. What's the worst that could happen? Actually, never mind. You don't want to know what the worst that could happen is. Never mind, that was a silly question on my behalf. It was silly of me to even ask. Obviously, USA was basing all of their defense on Israel, I guess. Whoosh, I guess. Yes. Yes. Lucky me. Lucky me, it could have ended much worse, but it didn't because I'm lucky. Who knows what I could have been doing during this attack, this one since the start of the war. I could have been doing some very unsavory things, okay? Who knows? You don't know me. You don't know what I'm up to. Off the clock, when I'm not streaming. You don't know what I'm up to. What shenanigans I concoct. Oh, Lucy, can you show us the red lights in the sky? I guess, hold on, you can Google them. Kyiv, air, siren, Kyiv, drone, anti-air. There are many videos of the anti-air, I think. Good. Kyiv, anti-air, Shahid, with there. I hope I can find it. Because I guess I cannot find it. Sorry. So we did a documentary about... Oh, it's connected. We did a documentary about the entire crew. Well, you know what? We might as well watch the... We might as well. Because why not? Why the hell not? We might as well do it. Do it. Alright, let's do it. Like Darth Sidious. YouTube, we're gonna do a promo. Okay, we're gonna do a promo of superior content to mine. Dylan Burns TV. How nice. I don't know why, but YouTube started translating the titles for the videos for me. So I have here Ukraińskie rodeo antydronowe, which sounds super stupid in Polish. What a stupid thing, okay? But that's not gonna stop us from checking out the documentary because it has red lights in the sky, okay? Also, you should all watch it and promote it. I'm just gonna link it, okay? Whether you like it or not, I don't care. I don't care about your consent. Okay? Nobody cares. I mean, I kind of do, but you know what I mean. You understand me. I hope you understand me. The fact that you're saying I will check it out later and you have not checked it out yet is a red flag to me. Okay? I'm starting when you say stuff like I haven't watched it yet, I have to check it out later. You're beginning to feel like a suspicious human to me. I'm highly suspicious of your motives when that happens. So tread lightly.
Включайте. Все равно.
Where are the lights in the sky?
Діма, шукай. Да, йде. Побачиш, скажеш.
When does it happen?
Ну дивись.
The unmistakable sound of a Russian kamikaze drone approaching, like a
Oh,
lawn
there we go, there we go.
control. Kyiv, here in Sumy, or anywhere else. I did my best to stay outside in the cold as much as I could, afraid that I'd miss the moment if I stay away from our lethal heirloom we call air defense. From our position in an open field, we could see activity in every direction when the Kremlin paid our air defense away to Kyiv.
I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of the music choice in this fragment of the document. Oh my gosh, I'm criticizing that thing. Yes, you all should watch it. I know you all should promote it. Already watched it? Did you leave a comment and a like?
Here in Sumy, or anywhere else. Streaks of red.
Oh yeah, look at this.
There it is again. Drones.
What was that weird whisper? Who is he summoning? Who is he summoning? He's summoning drones as if he was summoning pets. A little doggy.
There it is again. Drones. As I fail to fall asleep in Kyiv and find myself trying to pass the time by smoking and playing Bannerlord on my computer, the recognizable sound of Russian long-range fixed-wing
Bannerlord
drones slowly filled my ears as it approaches. It's as if a lawnmower was flying above your home and was closing in on my location, along with the apartments of many other civilians who may end up in the destructive pathway of these war machines. I've come to know that...
Okay, we watched the lights in the sky, okay? My goodness. But yes, watch the documentary, it's good. I hope. I've done my duty to war journalism.